Ironman and half Ironman triathletes, lactate testing is a game changer. While it might seem a little technical, it's really one of the most valuable tools in your training arsenal. And I'm going to take a few minutes to go over the reasons why. Number one, it'll help you identify your threshold. And so your lactate threshold is a point where your body starts producing lactate faster than it can clear it. It's a moment you shift from being able to sustain a steady pace to feeling like you're really pushing hard. And knowing your lactate threshold helps you train smarter. If you can pinpoint this threshold, you can focus your workouts on improving your threshold so you can work harder and longer before fatigue sets in. For a beginner, this really helps you to avoid overtraining, training at too high of an intensity. It helps you personalize your training zones. So lactate testing gives you a breakdown of your various zones, different intensities. These zones correspond to a different physiological response that we're trying to achieve. So when you know your lactate zones, you can tailor your training to be so much more effective. You can, for example, you can focus on endurance building and low intensity work, or you can focus more on the higher intensity intervals to increase speed and power. And knowing the intensity that happens at is important. Okay, so this means that you'll be able to work out at the right level to get the most out of every workout. It'll also help you track progress. So over time, your lactate threshold should improve, meaning you can work harder before lactate starts to build up. And lactate testing allows you to see the progress that you're making. So as a new or experienced athlete, it's motivating to know that what you're doing, your body is adapting to it and getting stronger. And you'll know exactly when you're ready to push harder in your training or when to back it off, which is a key component of improving long term. It also helps you to avoid overtraining and optimizing your recovery. If you're pushing too hard, lactate is going to build up and it's going to lead to fatigue. On the other hand, if you're not pushing hard enough, you might not be making the progress that you need. Lactate testing helps you find that sweet spot. You can figure out if you're overdoing it, underdoing it, or just training at the right level of intensity. And this means less guesswork and better results with the fewer chances of burnout or getting injury. Lactate testing also shows how your body responds to different levels of intensity. When you know your lactate threshold, you can plan your race pace way more effectively. You'll know the intensity that you need to avoid so you don't burn out, and it'll allow you to pace yourself so you can stay strong all the way through the finish line. And that's what Ironman and half Ironman racing is about, is sustainable speed. Lactate testing also gives you a peek into how your body uses energy, carbs versus fat, at different intensities. And why does this even matter? Well, for endurance athletes, knowing when your body starts relying more on carbs, which is a great source of energy, versus fats, more sustainable, is a key training intensity and racing intensity. Lactate testing helps you to really fine-tune your training so you're optimizing both your ability to use carbs and your ability to use fat, depending on the type of training you're going after. Lactate testing also allows you to identify your weaknesses, like when lactate accumulates way too early, or maybe you don't even have a strong lactate response. But bottom line is you can really work on what's holding you back to get your results. And I think one of the biggest benefits to lactate testing is it gives you concrete data about your training and your performance. And for athletes, it's often easy to wonder, am I improving at all? Is my hard work paying off? This cycle, is it bringing me the benefits I'm looking for? But when you can go back and look at your lactate threshold and see how your lactate curve is changing, this is motivating because it gives you the validation and the proof that your work is paying off. Bottom line, lactate testing isn't just for elite athletes. It's really valuable for anybody who wants to see their training pay off on race day. It helps you train more effectively, track your progress, optimize your performance, and really avoiding burnout and overtraining. For new athletes, it's a game changer because it provides clear, actionable insights to help you reach your goals faster and with more confidence. So if you are considering lactate testing as part of your training, I wouldn't hesitate to do it because it's so beneficial, so valuable for what you're going to achieve on race day and to your daily training.